It was announced on Monday that Donald Trump is still planning on holding rallies across the country, even though he is officially the lame duck president at this point. But the reason he wants to hold these rallies is because he wants to go out there and continue to spread disinformation about what actually happened in the election. To put it another way, he wants to continue going out there lying to his base and convincing them that he didn't actually lose, but that Democrats stole the election. Democrats so skilled, by the way, at stealing the election that they stole it in a way where it had to be dragged out for an extra 4 days, and also didn't bother to rig the House and Senate races. So they lost seats in the House and didn't clearly get control of the Senate. And they didn't rig the election in a way to take states like Florida and Ohio that would have just given them the victory on Tuesday. I don't know how the conspiracy theory works, folks. I'm not here to pick out the nuts and bolts of it. I'm just here to tell you what this crazy person is doing. And here's the reason this matters. Actually, there's two things I want to talk about with this. First and foremost, we'll talk about what happens if he goes out and holds these rallies. First, his base is dangerous. We know that. We have seen too many instances where even the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have had to say these people are radicals and these people are dangerous. They have stopped numerous potential attacks from people who have gotten riled up from Donald Trump's rhetoric, wanting to kill members of Congress, wanting to attack media outlets like CNN. His words have consequences. And for the most part, most of these potential acts of violence have been stopped. So that is what's going to happen if he goes out and does these rallies and spreads the hate and the misinformation. He lost, folks. I don't care if you loved him. I don't care if you hated him. There is no way to slice it. His election challenges are getting thrown out because there's no evidence to back him up. He is done. And he knows it. He just hopes that you're gullible enough to not understand that. That's the problem. And that's another thing I wish that these diehard Trump supporters would realize. He doesn't love you. He doesn't even like you. He thinks you're an idiot. But he thinks you're a useful idiot who will go out there and do whatever it is he tells you to do. Don't fall for it. Second thing, I don't think these rallies will happen. And if they do, it's not going to happen very frequently. And here's why. Trump has to pay for these rallies out of his campaign fund. Well, the campaign fund was pretty much broke anyway. They have massive, massive debts. And what little money they do have, they're actually wasting it all on these election challenges, to the point where they have actually had to send out these email requests saying, hey, give us money for the legal challenges. By the way, half of what you donate is going to go to pay off our campaign debts because we are massively in debt. They still have debts from 2016, by the way, because they didn't pay for their rallies. Betting they haven't paid for most of them this year, and I'm betting they're going to try to not pay for the ones that the president may or may not be having from this point forward. But here's the thing. They're on the hook for those costs. So even if the campaign runs out of money, those states, once Trump is no longer president, or cities actually, they're just going to sue him personally. And they're going to win because they have agreements all written and signed. So somebody's going to have to pay for it, and it's going to be somebody with the last name of Trump. So I don't think he's going to do that. And the only way he could get around that would be, okay, well, if I have to pay for it, then I'm going to ask for the money up front for people coming in. So instead of being able to go and attend a MAGA rally for free, suddenly you're going to have to pay. And those venues are not cheap. So tickets are going to be expensive. So suddenly your garden variety Donald Trump supporter is not going to fork out $100 to go listen to the man lie to him for an hour. The diehards will. You know, they'll scrape together their life savings if they have to go see this man talk. If they charged $10,000, they'd come up with it and they would go see it. And that's going to be such a small minority that those rallies that Trump feeds off of are going to dry up pretty quick. He's not going to get the ego boost he wants. He's not going to get the response he wants. It's simply not going to work. Hopefully. If it does, that's a problem. That is dangerous. But hopefully the second scenario is what plays out. And people won't be foolish enough to fork over a couple $100 to watch Donald Trump whine about losing to Joe Biden.